All right. Welcome to the United Matters channel. It has been a day since I've been not bringing you content, but I'm back. Ugarte on Amorim's appointment, because we all know to it that Ugarte was bought by Ruben Amorim to Sporting Lisbon, and he's one of those players that they sold hugely and they made a lot of profit from him. And he's really one of those players that Ineos went ahead to buy on the final day from PSG, and he came and joined Manchester United permanent, and he has not gone ahead to be used frequently by Erik ten Hag. But ever since Erik ten Hag was sacked, Ruud van Nistelrooy has played him in his 2 consecutive games, and I anticipate that even on Thursday, as Manchester United takes on PSV at Old Trafford, he might be one of those players that the club will obviously flaunt into that midfield, obviously start alongside Christian Eriksen, because really has good legs. And he saw to it that in the game of Chelsea, he went ahead to win very many duels, and people were like, all right, he's really good. And guess what? He obviously found himself on the verge of even getting a red card, because he got a yellow card, and after getting a yellow card, he found himself in a situation of really being called out upon to say to it that he was one foul away from really getting a red card into that game of Chelsea. But he never really stopped, and he kept going as a player, and that is Manuel Ugarte. So smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Broken David is my name, and in that game of Chelsea, he was all over the place. And he was given a role to obviously stop a player called Kyle Palmer. You know, Kyle Palmer is the brain tank or the think tank of Chelsea, and Ugarte did the job very, very well by not really giving him space to operate. Even the yellow card that he got at the beginning of the first half, I think it was all about stopping him after he really went ahead to obviously do a pass through Garnacho and Marcus Rashford, and they couldn't obviously get onto him. So let's see close to 100 likes match in this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see to it that all goes on well as planned. Now, Ugarte has come out and obviously spoken about Ruben Amorim and how it feels like to be his next manager at the club of Manchester United. Ugarte, on Ruben Amorim's appointment at Manchester United, he said, "There are many questions about him from many colleagues, United players. What surprised them was his age, because he's 39. He also has a strong desire to win, which is very important. I can tell you that they will like him. Obviously, he's a likable coach, and everyone is really excited, obviously, have him at the club of Manchester United. And most of us, we just can't wait to obviously have him at the club of Manchester United. And remember, he is commencing his job on the 11th of November after he manages his last game against Braga or at Sporting Lisbon." He says, "There are many questions about him from the colleagues." Now, I told you there are very many similarities between Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim. You remember when Erik ten Hag was announced the manager of Manchester United, right? Very many United fans went ahead to obviously call Donny van de Beek, because by then he wasn't at Manchester United. He was at Everton on a loan, and they are like, what it is like, because his announcement came in through in March, and they had close to 2 months or 3 months to obviously know what this manager is all about. And all in all, it resulted from these players, and they really went ahead obviously talk to Donny van de Beek, and he told them almost exactly the same words that Ugarte really went ahead obviously talk to them. But one of the stories that featured, one of the points that really featured prominently was the nutrition, that he minds a lot about the nutrition. But amidst him being a manager who minds a lot about the nutrition, however much he came and obviously set his ways of real action at the club of Manchester United, we've never gone ahead to get injuries in United history like those who've gone ahead to get under Erik ten Hag, meaning that maybe something was not really going on right, and some players were really trying to obviously bypass the nutrition code that he had always just gone ahead to set. Then the other one was him being a disciplinarian, him being a disciplinarian, and that was seen on Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, and very many others. Even on Amadi Dia, looks like they never had something good amongst them, and it never really went ahead to work out on well with him. So that is what Erik ten Hag was said about, and what we went ahead to see when he came in through. And Donny van de Beek went ahead obviously tell the players that, and even Manuel Ugarte has come up and obviously said the same things almost, that he's really loving guy. They're going to love him because he's really an exciting manager and he has a strong desire to win. Obviously has a strong desire to win. And I told you the huge difference he's really getting is that he's coming into a club with a better football structure. And I see that football structure as one of the things that are really going to help him really thrive under Manchester United, provided everything goes on well. But the most important bit of it all is the players. And I want him to come out and obviously be ruthless, because that team of Manchester United has very many players that are not ballers, to show you that they're really worse. They don't even get the basics of the game right, because the basics of the game are the intensity, not putting a sloppy pass in. But how many sloppy passes have these people gone ahead to obviously put? In the games you've gone ahead to see us play, do you know how many sloppy passes these people have gone ahead obviously put in? Very many of those. So this is where we come out and obviously feel like it's not one of those things that we should come up and obviously really be highly expectant about, because I know this manager to obviously operate fully, he needs to have a side that is really having ballers into the mix, and he has to work a lot, So that is what he said about his desire to win, which is very important. I can tell you they will like him. Obviously, any new manager who comes in through is liked by the players because they know to it that he has been chosen by the club. And let's obviously go ahead and really show to it that it's not all about the past manager, it's all about that it's not all about the present manager, it was all about the past manager. So these players of United are really good at doing that. And even when Ten Hag went ahead to obviously get in, let's see, Eriksson, Lisandro Martinez, Onana, Malacia, Rasmus Højlund, Leny Yoro, Ugarte, Mazrui, Matthias de Ligt, Zexi, name it. All the players he bought in Anthony. He has gone ahead to buy close to 10 players for the club of Manchester United, in the previous 3 seasons. Are they even 10? They are even more, because in the first season he brought Eriksson, he brought Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, Casemiro, and Anthony. In the second summer, he brought Onana, Mason Mount, he brought Rasmus Højlund. You get? Who else was brought in the second season? Atil Ben-Dayer, right? Those are 4. Those are 9. And this summer, he has brought in Ugarte, Zexi, Matthias de Ligt, Mazraoui, and Leny Yoro. 5, meaning that in his era is going to bring in 14 players. And I think those 14 players are going to bring in through. It's only Anthony that is going to disappoint hugely. And if this manager can come in through and obviously build around those players, I think those players that are going to be brought in through are really good and they can do the needful. Now, if Erik ten Hag went ahead to be sacked after really bringing in like 15 players at the club of Manchester United, plus those from the academy, Kobe Mainoo, Amadi Diallo, Garnacho, you understand? That means there is a clique of players who are really responsible for this. So what he has to do is simple. He has to come out and obviously try to clear the house and clean it. You get? Ten Hag tried to clean it, but they went against him, and now he has a very huge job to do as a manager. Then Ruud van Nistelrooy has come out and really said the following: you should be careful with early conclusions on Manuel Ugarte. He's a great signing. Manuel Ugarte is a very good player. He has very specific qualities in the midfield, getting in between players to recover balls to get us in attacking positions. That is what Ruud van Nistelrooy, the interim manager, has to say about Manuel Ugarte. And he's a good player. One of the things I never had to understand about Erik ten Hag was not playing Manuel Ugarte. And Erik ten Hag was a manager who always came up and obviously contradicted himself. Like, for example, he was asked why Ugarte never went ahead to play. Was it the game of Brentford, I think? Was it Brentford? Before the game of Brentford, why Ten Hag was asked why the player why he wasn't played in the Premier League. Ten Hag was like, because he's not well conversant in the Premier League. You understand? That's what Ten Hag really went ahead to say. And after saying that, he came on as a sub in the game of Brentford, and I was like, all right, Ten Hag has said the player is not really playing well is not well conversant in the Premier League. Now, because you're playing in Europe and you're playing FC Porto, a team that he played against when he was at Sporting Lisbon very many times, you understand, then he's going to give him a go. And guess what? He didn't even give him a minute in that game. And I was like, Ten Hag is now confused. He's totally confused. Even when we needed him, he was like, let me not obviously get the player. So that is really very bad of Erik ten Hag. So for Ruben Nistelrooy, he has given us the benefits of really playing this guy, and Ugarte has gone ahead and obviously hailed the appointment of Ruben Amorim. And I tell you, with Ugarte in that midfield and Kobe Mainoo, I think we're really going to be having one of the most ball-winning and forward-driving midfields in the world. I tell you, because I know exactly what it means to be having these two players. They're all energetic, and they can play as sixes and they can play as number 8s. And in this system that Ruben Amorim is really going to play, you can even play with 2 8s. You can even play it without a 6. You get, because you'll be having 3 central defenders and 4 players into the midfield. The fullbacks turn into be midfielders, and these two will obviously give you the cover up. And they'll always be compact in the midfield, because he'll always want his 2 central attacking midfielders to obviously play narrow. You get? If it's Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, they'll play narrow. You get? They'll leave the full the wide areas, the wide areas of the pitch for the wing backs. That is Dallo and maybe Luke Shaw, if at all they really come out and really play. All Mazarawi and Malacia. So that's the plan of the manager. So wait and see how that pans out. But it's excitement to see Ruben Amorim coming in through another young, exciting manager coming to the club of Manchester United, and I wish him all the best. And guys, I wouldn't like to see us sacking another manager. I would like to see us kissing success when this guy comes in through. So thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your thoughts about Ugarte. Excited about Amorim's appointment, and Ruben Nistelrooy obviously giving Manuel Ugarte his flowers, and why he has gone to obviously start him in 2 consecutive games. And I believe on Thursday he's going to be in that midfield, because Ineos are like, this is the future. This is the future. We need to get these youngsters into the team of Manchester United. And when you see how Erik ten Hag dealt with the situation, it obviously sends you a very huge message as to why Manchester United were like, it's not the day. It's not what we want you to do. You're not performing very well, and you're not integrating in the players that we've gone ahead to bring in. Yet we believe they're the future of the club. You're bringing in Casemiro, who you really benched after really playing bad against Chelsea, against Liverpool, and a player that hasn't gone to be tested consecutively or continuously is being not played. And I think that was really very bad of Erik ten Hag. I'm out. Bye-bye.